Hello, everybody. Today's topic: how can women be successful in marrying their ideal partner? This is a deep one, ladies. What can we do as a man to show you guys what men are looking for and how you can connect with the right man for you? Well, let's look at the numbers. Let's thought about this. Let's start it this way. It depends on what you want. Not every man is ideal for every woman. So as a woman, you have to be honest with yourself, and be able to filter the things that you can live with and the things that you can live without. So let's go deep into this. The numbers are showing that the women of this generation are they're shooting for men with financial power. What do I mean by this? They are placing more emphasis on man's financial ability versus his character. I am not saying they're throwing away character. They are looking at character, but the first thing they're looking at is financially, can you sustain the lifestyle that they're looking for? So if you ask most women, they'll say six figures. That's what they'll say. A man is making $100,000 and above. That's what the majority of the women, unmarried women, are looking for. And then they take the stance of some of these character that that the man doesn't have. I am strong enough of a woman to help him grow those characters and personalities. And that's why there's a lot of heartbreak for my ladies and my sisters, because you get the reality of you face the reality of not everything you can change. Some people change, some people don't. It's a gamble, ladies. It's a gamble. So if you choose financial over character, it's possible that you know you can influence your man to change those bad habits or change those characters that you want him to change. And it's also possible that they may never change. So that's a risk and a gamble that you're taking. But we find out that most women are actually looking at that, because if you ask, because the studies show almost overwhelming 80% of women are looking to marry a man that's making six figures. That means they're looking for men that are making $100,000 and above, and that's a minimum. And some women don't even want 100,000; they're looking at 300,000, 400,000 as their cutoff. And you have to be realistic, ladies. Why am I saying this? You have to understand what the average man in America is making. The average man in the United States, we're talking white, black, Asian, is $60,000 a year. $60,000 a year. That's what the average man is making. And if you want to, if you want to say, look, I don't want to marry outside my race. For a black man, it's 46. Yes, it's about $46,000 a year on average. Average black man is making. So when you already cut off 80% of black men, you've cut off 80% of black men. If you're a black person, you've a black woman, you've cut off 80% of the black men. You're shooting for the 20%. You have to understand this 20%, because 20% of men are making 100,000. 20% of men is making 100,000 and more. And then if you want to go to 150, it drops down to 10%. 10% of American men is making 150 and above. And then I think 218,000, that's 5%. 5% of men is making $218,000 a year and above. And then if your cutoff is $500,000 a year, 1% of men in the United States is making $500,000 a year. Do you see where I'm going with this? You're shooting for something that everybody wants. Every woman wants. 80%, close to 90% of women are fighting for that 1% man. What do you think that's doing? As we know in economics, if you flood the market, what happens when you flood the market? Your price goes down. What do I mean by your price goes down? A man that's sitting out there is making $500,000 a year, being chased by all kinds of women. The best looking women is going to take his time in choosing which one of these women is going to marry. He may play around, and that is the problem. That is why there's a lot of heartbreak out there. A lot of women shooting. I'm not saying don't look for a man that's making money. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's the risk you're taking. Is you're competing with a lot of women for this one man, and that what that does to a man ego is going to take its time, right? It's going to take its time. We as women, you need to understand what the relationship market looks like and be realistic in assessing what you're going to live with and what you're not going to live with. And you see that's where you see in the world where there's a lot of women that saying the men are bad, and which is sad because 50% of men are not married. 50% of men are like, some men are out there looking for a woman that will pick them or that will say yes to them, but they're making 30, they're making 40. If you ask, there are studies out there they're asking women out there in their 20s and their 30s, would you date someone that's making 30,000 a year, and they what do you call it, and they just look down like, no, I can't do that, because that's beneath them. What is beneath you, women? Is it character? Is it going down on character or going down on finances? What is beneath you? I'm pretty sure you say all of them. You want all of them. You want character, I character, and I financial power. So let's look at this. I just gave you statistics that 1% of men in the United States is making $500,000 a year. When the matrix for high value men, which what I mean by high value men is the man that pretty much almost every woman wants. The matrix is 6 figures, 6 feet, and charisma. What do I mean by charisma? It makes me laugh, it's funny, it's confident, it doesn't have that awkwardness about himself. Those things is what the matrix is showing for what a high valued man is. Do you know what percentage of high valued men is in the United States? 0.5, less than 0.5%. So if you want to take a man that's making $100,000 and more, and is 6 feet, and is confident, charismatic, it's got all these characters that women are looking for in a man, you're looking at 0.5%. Do you think it's realistic for you to compete with 90% of women for that? They're gonna be winners and losers. They're gonna be winners and losers. What happens to the losers? The losers are going to have trauma. There's gonna be letdown. There's gonna be heartbreaks. So this is what's happening in the dating market. You see it in the numbers are showing in dating apps. That's why it's not working. The most desirable men are getting all the swipes, whereas all the other men, they're not as handsome. They're not. They don't have the high level jobs, or do not have charisma. Those are being left on the wayside, and you will see women generalizing and saying there are no good men out there. Those men will love you for the rest of their life. Those men will fight for you because they're thirsty, they're hungry. But most women are going for these kind of men that they have the abundance. They have abundance, and so here's the question. There is no shame in you wanting a high valued man. It's your preference. It's your preference. But you need to understand, if you want to succeed in something, you have to find out what it takes to succeed. What does high value men want? You got to understand, a high value man is someone is making 6 figures. It's making 6 figures. It's making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. Most high valued men, some high valued men are topping $1 million, $2 million, millionaires. So you have to understand, what can you bring to the table as a woman to a multi-millionaire? Let's go that route. What can you bring to the table? What do they want? That is where, as a woman, it will behoove you to start finding out what they like, not what you think they should like. That's where a lot of women get heartbreak, because they feel like, oh, a man should be this, that, and they shoot for this high valued man, and he dates them, and then he dumps them, and they're like, man, he just wasted my time. Yes, he wasted your time. You also wasted your time. Before you date somebody, you need to, or you're seriously dating somebody, you need to find out what it is that makes them tick, what it is that they want, so that you can find out, can I give it to them? And if you cannot give it to them, then you leave them. You don't waste the time on a project that, oh my God, I think I can fix them, or whatever it is. Because you have to understand, time is not on your side, especially for the ladies that want to have children. You need to start, and before you get to your late 20s, you need to have a concrete idea of the kind of man you want to marry. It shouldn't be you're not sure. You should be very sure of the kind of man, so that when you're dating, you're eliminating them quickly. You're not spending 6, 8, 9 months with a man that's not gonna commit to you, that's not gonna marry you. You gotta understand, most men are marrying 35 plus and above. That's where they're marrying. Most men are marrying at that age. Why are they marrying at that age? Because they know that no woman would take them seriously if they don't have financial power. So when they get out of college, they're working, they're saving their money, they're getting their house, getting everything set up, so that, when you have a house, you have a nice car, everything's set up, it's easier for you to walk into the relationship marketplace and pick what you want. And a woman would take you seriously when they see that you already have a home, you already have a car, you're not broke, you're not, paying bill to bill, you are financially stable. And it's not a shade on women. Women should want a man that can provide for them. It's not needy. It's by design. It's by design. So what does high value men want? So through research, a lot of high valued men, a lot of high valued men have been asked these kind of questions, and the thing that keeps coming out when they say cooperative. They want a woman that's cooperative. A high value man already has a vision. It's his vision that got him the wealth that he's got. He already has a vision. So as a woman, you want to align yourself to his vision, and you want to learn his vision, because you cannot align yourself to any man. You need to know what their vision is. If there is the vision this, then if it lines up with your vision, then you can hit the ground running. All right. When you find out what their vision is, you find out how can you help them attain their vision. And when they're dating you, you start doing those things. So when they're dating you, they're like, man, this person's helping me out. I'm reaching higher areas in my life ever since I've started dating this person. That's how they know you're a wifey. That's how they know you're a wife material. Not just looks. Looks get you in the door, ladies and gentlemen. I understand. Look, the most beautiful women get the first. They get the first. What do you call it? They get the first invite. But guess what's happening? Most of them are being turned to the door, because all they're bringing is beauty. And you can't just bring beauty. You have to bring more than beauty. You have to bring value to the man that you're committing your life to. More value than looks and children. You have to be someone that can you got to be a multiplier. A man gives you something, you multiply it, right? So those are the things that high value men are looking for. They're looking for a woman that's cooperative. They're looking for a woman that's feminine. What I mean by feminine is nurturing, someone that turns his house into a home. Someone that brings in peace. I'm not saying that peaceful as in you don't have a mind of your own. Peaceful as in you do everything it tells you to do. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying peaceful is someone that brings in peace. You comes home, you talk, there's a gentleness about you, there's a way you solve problems. You solve problems, you don't create problems. Those things are what high valued men are looking for. If you look at a high valued man, you look at his wife and say, man, I look better than that woman. How did she get him? You will find that that's how she got him. He probably dated a lot of good looking women, and he dated her, and she was different, and that's how she stood out in the sea of options. Remember, a high valued man has a lot of options. So this is the first thing that we're seeing. We're seeing that high valued men are getting plethora of options. They're not getting turned down most of the time, and so this is for women that are shooting for high valued men. I will advise that this second option should be for every woman. Find out your values. Value that more than money. Money can be built, but it's hard. I understand that most women they don't want to deal with that. We're living, we're eating sardines, bread and butter. No, they want to go straight for a man that's settled and financially stable. I understand that. There's no shade there. But I will tell you, if you're a woman there's wants more character, then you may have to lower your standards on finances. You may have to lower your standards from my standard is a man's got to make $20,000 a year to maybe a man that's making $50,000 a year. Man that's making $50,000 a year knows he doesn't have any option. If a good woman chooses him, if he chooses a good woman and she says yes to him, he's blessed. And the woman also brings character to the table. They can build together. See, you want a lifestyle of $100,000, man. You don't need to marry a man that's making $100,000 a year. You can bring $40,000 to the table, and he can make $60,000, and combine your money. You got your outcome. And as the years go, as you build your wealth together, there's a sense of fulfillment that you're part of the process. So that's the second idea, which is focus more on character. So what characters should we focus on? I would say masculine characters. What I mean by that is a man that's responsible, that pays his bills. You will know that when you go on a date with a man. He pays for the food, okay, all right. And then when you get to know him more, you find out about his situation at his house. Is he living with his parents, or does he have an apartment? If he has an apartment, is he asking you for money? He can't make his rents. Those are the red flags for you, ladies. So you want a man that's responsible. You want a man that's a provider. So those two come hand in hand. If he's responsible and he's a provider, he prides himself on taking care of the people that he loves. He takes care of his parents, takes care of his brothers and sisters, is kind to his parents, is kind to his brothers and sisters. Those are the things that, as a woman, you should be looking for. Those are your way of finding out this man's character. And then the third thing is self-control and self-discipline. That's the thing that's been thrown to the wayside. A woman will see a man that's providing and protecting and say, I got it, I'm good. No, you also have to look at does this man have self-control? Does he have self-discipline? If you're a woman that cannot take that a man that's a cheater, then you need to be looking at self-control and self-discipline, and you might need to lower your standards on finances. Because if you find a man that has great self-control, self-discipline, you may have to overlook the fact that he's making $45,000 a year. You may have to overlook that, because if that's the most important thing to you, that's the most important thing to you. The rest you can build. Wealth can be built. It's even sweeter when you build it together with your man. Okay, so understand this. Understand this. What to look for a man is Is he responsible? Is he a provider? Is he a protector? What do I mean by protector? Is a man that will lay down his life for you. You know what that man looks like. And I'm not talking about a man that will side with you when you're wrong. That could show that he's a man that doesn't want to make you upset. We're not looking for feelings. We're looking for someone that will protect you, even from yourself, when you're making bad decisions. Okay, so that's the kind of man you want: a leader, a protector, a provider, self-control, self-discipline. Super important. Why am I saying this? My big no-no is physical violence. It's a big no-no for me. I'm not telling you if you have a relationship with a man and he's physically abusive that he will never change. I am telling you that's my line. That's my line. If you cannot control yourself, if you get angry with your spouse, which you're gonna be, relationship is such an emotional thing. It can be emotionally stressful because you have two people that love each other, that are, pulling on each other, just trying to make each other grow and help each other along. It's stressful. So if you're a man that cannot open your hands and speak to your woman from your heart without using closing your fist and eating on her, then I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't advise it. I don't advise settling with a man that's physically abusive. Let him fix himself first, and let him show proof that he has fixed himself. And I'm talking therapy, y'all. I'm talking psychological therapy where I'm just letting you know this is a dangerous situation. I find there's a lot of women, they will go for a man that's charismatic. You got to understand, a lot of men that they can physically abuse people. Their confidence, right? Their confidence comes in fact that they dominate. So you have to be able to separate a man that's confident because he loves himself and he loves others, and separate that from the confidence of he's a dominator. He dominates things. He dominates people. He conquers, and that's all he cares about. That's what it means to me when you cannot listen to your wife without laying your hands on her. So I digressed, but this is something I'm very passionate about, ladies. Please, please do not align yourself with a man that's a physical abuser. It's not healthy for you. It's not safe. You have to understand, part of what women want, what you want is a safe place. It's a safe place for you and your children. So that should be one of your biggest things. Watching the man, how does he behave when he's angry? I'm not saying a man that's angry. Understand that every man will be angry. There will be situations that's going to test him mentally. What does he do when he gets angry? Okay, so the third thing I want to talk about is this. No one is 100% of what you're looking for. So don't waste your time looking for a perfect partner. If your goal is indeed to get married, then you should be willing to find a man that checks most of your boxes and then take the rest as a project. And it's a gamble. That's why you make sure your top list is the most important thing that you cannot move on with, and make sure those things are realistic. That's why that's why I look at things, when I look at it this way, when a woman says she needs a man that's 6 foot, that's making $300,000 a year, that makes me laugh and makes me feel special. That's 0.5% of men in the United States. Just because of the height, 6 feet. The average height is for a man is, I think, is 5'8", 5'9", or something like that. And it shoots up when you go to 6 feet and above. So you have to realize there's a trade-off here, ladies. Optimize your time when it comes to finding a partner, when it comes to dating from a long period of time. You can date, but don't waste your time dating for a long period of time someone that doesn't fill in your blanks. And I'm talking realistically, from a realistic standpoint. Find a guy that's responsible. Find a man that's a protector, that's not an abuser. Find a man that's has self-control and self-discipline, that his vision lines up with the vision that you want. Your beliefs, your life, the lifestyle that you want for yourself and your kids. That's how you find your ideal man. You ought to know these things. You ought to know the things that you can live with and the things you cannot live with, and be willing to sacrifice some things. The word is sacrifice, because there's a lot of women out there that they want everything, and it's all or nothing. And the problem, and you know what it's doing? 45% are not married. 45% are not married. After reaching marrying age, 45% is not married. There's a reason for this. And then what happens is when women get to their 30s, they're still good, and they're more educated, and they feel like I need to aim for higher men, higher men, higher men. In their mind, they feel like the higher man is the man that's making $500,000 a year, $200,000 a year, without realizing there's a balance to this. There's a spectrum to this. There's a spectrum to this, ladies. What do you value more, money or character? So maybe a high value man should be a man that will protect you, that will provide for you, that will love you regardless of who you are, that believes in for better or for worse, in sickness and health, for better to death do you part, or will he be a man that one day he goes from a multi-millionaire to be a billionaire, and all of a sudden he wants a model as to marry, and he leaves you on the wayside? A man that has integrity, that does what he says he will do. If he says he'll stick by you for the rest of your life, he should stick by you for the rest of your life. So that's what I mean by I want for you ladies to have the best man for yourself. You deserve it, but you ought to work for it as well. You ought to stop limiting yourself so that you can grow into the person that can get the best and ideal partner for yourself. So please, ladies, choose wisely. Remember, you get to choose your partner. You get to choose who you say yes to. He will propose to you, but you get to choose. So choose wisely your partner. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Have a great day.